this. The all-new Milo's Rewards Loyalty Program is here. Download the app to join, earn, and save today.
Well, Thea had it, and I know you don't want to. I just worry, okay? This is something you have an opportunity to manage. But if you don't, it could control your life. And I know how much you like being told what to do.
What's up?
Who are you?
I'm your inner child. Get in. Listen, what you really need in life is some freaking torque.
What?
Power shot!
When can I drive?
You already are!
The Dodge Hornet RT, the totally torqued out crossover.
Right now, well-qualified current FCA lessees can lease the 2024 Dodge Hornet RT for $189 a month.
Cool Ranch, Smoky Chipotle, Creamy Habanero? Tough call. But at Del Taco, you can mix and match 2 crispy chicken tacos for just $3. So head in now for one Del of a deal. 2 tacos for $3. That's Del Taco Better Mix.
Breaking news this morning, Iran launches hundreds of retaliatory drone and missile strikes on Israel overnight. Coming up, will this mean a wider war in the Middle East? What U.S. officials are saying at this hour, we'll have all the details coming up.
And a gunman fires shots from an apartment rooftop in Marina del Rey. This morning, the area on high alert as investigators piece together what happened.
And a health alert for all Botox users this morning. The CDC is investigating fake Botox that has made its way onto the market. We'll explain.
And we're seeing some shower activity already through Southern California today. We could see some thunderstorms. We're going to talk about the rest of your Sunday and this coming work week coming up.
Good Sunday morning, everyone, and welcome to the KTLA Morning News at 8 o'clock. I'm Megan Tellis.
And I'm Lauren Lister. We thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday morning. The weather a little inclement. Casey's going to be talking about it. It's Doug Kolk's birthday.
Yes.
Everybody
raising the roof.
Send him a happy birthday message.
Which we're not celebrating, right?
Which we're not celebrating. He doesn't like the attention, but he put an earring back in his ear, a hole that hasn't been punctured in more than 20 years.
An earring that is the age he is today.
Yes.
And it was his favorite number of his youth. So more on that to come, but first let's check in with Casey on the weather.
All right, Max Doppler. This is a loop of the last 30 minutes. So we are seeing some showery, drizzly conditions for a lot of areas right now. Malibu, Santa Monica, moving through the San Fernando Valley. Santa Clarita Valley, you saw some showers earlier. So did Ventura County, with much more to come. Windy conditions from that camera you can see shaking around, and all the fog moving over the mountains. It looks pretty gorgeous out there this morning, though. But 49 at LAX right now, 47 in Burbank, 52 at John Wayne Airport, and 48 in Ontario. And this is what we can expect for temperatures this afternoon. 57 for Van Nuys, 54 in Palmdale today, 59 in Chino, 38 in Big Bear, and 72 in sunny in Palm Springs. Back to you.
Casey, thank you. Our top story this morning, the escalating war in the Middle East. Iran launching a barrage, hundreds of drones and missiles in an unprecedented attack on Israel.
Now, there are concerns that an Israeli counterattack might fuel the conflict to the point of no return. KTLA 5's Annie Rose Ramos is joining us live right here in studio with what we know this morning. Annie Rose, good morning to you.
Megan and Lauren, good morning to you both. Well, happening right now, Israel's war cabinet is meeting to determine its further response to Iran's attacks after President Biden urged Prime Minister Netanyahu not to retaliate, telling him over a phone call the U.S. will not support an Israeli counterattack. But let's go back to the beginning of it. Last night, when over 300 drone and missile strikes were launched by Iran into Israel. These are some of the images from last night. Air raid sirens and explosions sounding over Israel as Iran began launching its first direct assault on Israel after decades of tension. This attack is in response to a deadly airstrike Israel led on Iran's consulate in Syria at the start of April. This morning, Israel's military leaders saying they are intercepting the vast majority of these incoming drones and missiles. However, at this hour, we do know a 7-year-old child, a little girl, has not been killed, but instead was critically injured.
A Bedouin girl, 7 year old, was critically injured. But all in all, this was a major success in thwarting this attack, and it was a result of the deployment of our forces and our capabilities, intel, interception capabilities, and other capabilities, the U.S. role and coalition role. So I think in terms of, it could have been much worse, and this was a major success.
You can see President Biden here walking off of Marine One, cutting his weekend trip short to return to the White House for urgent discussions on this situation. He assured Israel U.S. support was ironclad. This morning, multiple sources reporting the U.S. has moved additional assets to the region to bolster the protection of U.S. forces and deter an escalation. CBS News reporting the U.S. has fighter jets on standby as concerns grow over how this conflict could mean a wider war in the Middle East and beyond, involving multiple countries. Minutes ago, the National Security Council spokesman John Kirby addressing those concerns.
Are we now in the midst of a wider war?
The president's been clear. We don't want to see this escalate. We're not looking for a wider war with Iran. I think the coming hours and days will tell us a lot.
Now we want to go now to a live feed from Israel. This is of the Tel Aviv skyline. While all looks calm now, it was a very different story last night. This morning, Israel's military confirming warplanes just struck a, quote, important weapons manufacturing site belonging to Hezbollah in Lebanon. But again, their war cabinet is meeting right now to determine its further response to Iran's attacks. And this morning, Megan and Lauren, in Rome, Pope Francis addressing these escalating tensions, urging Iran and Israel to avoid steps that could feed, quote, a spiral of violence in the Middle East. Send it back to you both.
Annie Rose, thank you for that update. Back here locally, a tense night in Marina del Rey where a suspected gunman is arrested after opening fire from a rooftop of an apartment building. The LA County Sheriff's Department responding to active gunfire around 10:15 at the building on Via Marina near Via Dolce. You hear those gunshots. Residents rattled, and according to deputies, the suspect was shooting at random from the apartment's rooftop. Luckily, no one was injured. One resident was headed home when all this unfolded.
I was Ubering back home, and my Uber dropped me off because my street was closed, and I was walking along the way, and this guy was like literally behind a car, and he's like, come here, like there's a shooter, and like I had to hide behind a car. I heard gunshots, yeah. I was in the Uber, and I was like, what is that? And the guy's like, gunshots. I'm like, oh my God.
The suspect was taken into custody at 1 o'clock in the morning, hasn't been identified, and the motive for the shooting is still unknown.
Authorities in San Bernardino County searching for any survivors from a late Saturday night small plane crash. It happened just after 8 p.m. north of Palm Avenue and Vermont Drive. The search for survivors hampered by rainy weather and difficult terrain. The FAA doesn't know how many people were aboard the Gulfstream AC-95 aircraft at the time. According to Flight Radar 24, the plane took off from the Stockton Metropolitan Airport with the destination of the Chino Airport. We'll be sure to bring you any updates as they develop this morning.
We're learning more about the cyber attack that crippled MGM Resorts in Las Vegas last fall. Remember that? Now we're learning more about what it was like for those who were inside the resort.
Incredibly, when it happened, I was in an MGM property, and it happened while we were having dinner, and there just began to be a rumbling that something was going on. When I went down into the casino, I could see then that slot machines were sitting dark, people were scrambling around, the shutdown was starting to take effect. So all of a sudden now people are going, how do I get my money? What's wrong?
In tonight's episode of CBS 60 Minutes, they interview Las Vegas publisher Anthony Curtis and the NSA's director of cybersecurity about the attack. We've learned the attack was conducted by a team of English-speaking hackers who teamed up with Russian hackers, and thousands of people may be involved. This is considered one of the costliest hacks in modern history, costing MGM an estimated $100 million.
And calling all stargazers, Casey Montoya. This is your new thing, right? Oh. Okay, the Lyrids meteor shower is set to light up our skies beginning tomorrow night. It's one of the oldest known showers, with the first recorded sighting dating back to 687 BC. If conditions are ideal, viewers will be able to see about 10 to 15 meteors per hour. It'll happen through April 29th, with the peak of the shower happening around 2:30 in the morning. So we're almost up. I don't know, maybe you're up at that hour.
I mean, I would get
Depends
up
on
to
the
see
way.
that.
Put the rocks out so you can recharge.
They're crystals.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And they're under the moon, not
Throw
the
them in your water.
stars.
The full
Oh,
moon.
she doesn't pay attention.
But come on, you can put them under the stars.
No, they go under the moon.
But shoot for the stars. If you miss, you land among the moon. Isn't that
I don't know. I'll try.
Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you land among the stars.
Oh, that sounds better. Okay.
Flip it, change it, rearrange it.
There's our little words of wisdom for the day.
Eventually we'll get it out. All right, to the Doppler we go. A lot of green showing up on here, though. We have seen some showers moving through Ventura County, the Santa Clarita Valley, San Fernando Valley, and along the coast from Malibu and Santa Monica. We do expect to see more showers, but we will see some nice breaks of sunshine today. This is from the camera right outside our studio here in Hollywood, so you can see the ground is wet. We have seen showers over the last couple of hours. Light in nature, though, right now, but thunderstorms are a threat today. 65 was the high downtown yesterday. We will be cooler than that today and below average again, but we will make it back to normal as far as temperatures go this week. Current conditions